Edgar's and Edgar's Active.
Now, as a child, I remember being very demanding of my mom and my grandparents. I always wanted to have the latest, newest, trendiest things. I wanted them to be at every sporting event, at every choir performance, and I wanted them to give me privacy when I was growing up. Now, all that was enough to, I'm sure, make them ask the question, what does this child want? And I'm sure that's the question that many parents out there ask, and Nikki Bush, parenting expert, is here to help us answer that question. Is it possible to answer that question, Nikki?
It seems so, Katlego. There's been a lot of research done recently on what children really want. They actually took 1,000 3rd through 12th graders in the States and asked them what would their single biggest wish be with regard to their parents and how their parents' work affects their lives. And they then took 600 parents and asked them to guess at what the children's answer would be.
Yeah.
And 56% of, the parents, the majority of those parents said, our kids want more of our time. Only 10% of the children said they wanted more of their parents' time. 56% of the kids said they wanted their parents to be less tired and stressed when they were with their children.
Wow, what an amazing observation by children to make, that they can actually see the stress and that therefore it kind of affects their relationship with their parents.
Absolutely. Children are very perceptive, you see, and if they feel we are happy and fulfilled, then they stress less about us. When we are really going off the handle and not being very focused, and when we're multitasking and when we're not present, they know that we're taking strain.
Yeah.
And you know, kids are funny. They try and fix us.
Really?
And they spend a lot of their time and energy trying to make it right for us.
Okay.
And it's actually us. We need to think about what we're doing when we're with our kids, because actually what they want is not more of our time, but more of our happiness. And that's quite interesting.
Now, when it comes to modern-day parenting, just like you said now, where most parents think that their kids want more of their time, what else is one of the big myths of parenting in the modern day?
Well, time and attention. Attention is a big, big thing. When you give your kids your time and attention, it's like pouring fertilizer and water all over them, and they just blossom like flowers. And it's about learning what I call the art of presence. Yeah. Learning to be really with your kids when you're with your kids. It's very easy to be multitasking, to be doing 1,000,001 other things when you're with your kids, and that's, you know, life is like that. Yeah. But it's learning how to do that in small pockets of time, how to be really with them. You know, very often you're driving along and your kids are jabbering in the back seat of the car, and you're not really listening, but they get it and they say, but you don't hear me. You're not listening to me. And they're right. To a large degree, they're actually right.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Now, thinking about that, I can think of those movie scenes where mom is driving and kids are, oh, Dad, today we did this and we played with the ball. And you're just like, you know, thinking about other things. So it's really about taking the time when you're with them to be with them.
Yes, and also learning that actually the time that you spend with your children and the time that you spend at work or whatever else it is that you're doing is actually all your time. So it's not about dividing it up and saying, well, that's my parenting and that's my work time, and that's my social time. All of it is your time. So it's all as much about you as it is about them. And the interesting thing about children is if you change what's going on here, you will see a result out there. And very often we try and fix the kids and fix their behavior. And actually a lot of it boils down to looking at how we are behaving, how we are managing our time, how we are managing our stress, and showing children how to manage stress creatively. And one of the easiest ways to manage stress is to acknowledge the power of play, to hit the pause button, to stop and play a little while. It doesn't have to be 3 hours of Monopoly. It could be just a quick 10-minute card game or rolling on the lawn together. Just be together from time to time, because your kids are wanting that quality time with you. And yes, we can't do hours and hours of it because we're such busy parents today, but we've got to make the time we do have count. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, just quickly, I mean, I'm sure lots of moms go through this when, after having a newborn baby, it's a question of, should I go back to work? Should I really be, you know, as career-driven as I was, or should I pay more attention to my child? There's that dilemma going on. Is that even the right question to be asking yourself?
Well, you know, there's actually research to support both arguments. So, you know, if you really wanted to find something to support the argument that you want to win, you know, you will find it. But maybe it's not about should I or shouldn't I go back to work, but how can I lead a fulfilling life? You know, and so it's learning about what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and trying to skew your life towards those strengths. Skew your life towards things that you really love. That, you know, that sense of when you lose yourself in an activity.
Yes.
That's being in the zone. so to speak.
And you want to be getting yourself into the
and
zone
you want
as
to be
often as possible.
as often as possible. And yes, when you're a very busy mother, it's not always easy to necessarily do that every day, but you've got to do it enough so that all the sort of irritating little chores that are on the to-do list actually kind of don't fall away, but they're not as significant because you are being fulfilled. And if you're being fulfilled, you're happier, your emotional cup is fuller, you can give more, you can be more present.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Really appreciate that. There we have it. Pearls of wisdom from parenting expert Nikki Bush. For more information, of course, visit our website, expressoshow.com.
Stay with Expresso and SABC3.